this wall of worry that people keep climbing doesn't seem to necessarily be warranted. We've kind of made our case as far as our bullishness for the rest of the year. Everybody and their mother has this fear of September being, a terrible month, and historically it is. No, make no mistake about it. Everybody kind of gets worried about September for whatever reason. They make
Yeah.
up their own reasons. I've been seeing headlines today about taxes coming back into the conversation, which, maybe that happens. We have inflation numbers that are coming out tomorrow. I'm sure that could cause some rockiness in the market, but those are very short term and short sighted events that I think could create some turbulence. But I don't know if it's necessarily a reason to just be all out selling and being in loads of cash right now. Having some cash on the side, sure, but like I've been seeing people selling all their stuff and they're like, oh, I'm going getting 100% cash or I'm in 50% cash. I just don't know if it's necessarily something that warrants that kind of move.
Yeah. I'm just doing this because Matt Dix is in the Chaos Crew. I see some more downside. I highlighted that. Oh, shoot. You know what? I didn't even change my name. I see some more downside. Bro, the market's green today. Like when you look at the SPY, the market's green. So it actually might break the trend. I would say now your account may be down.
Yeah.
But the sentiment yesterday was the market was, I see a correction 10% or more. Again, I want to be clear. I'm not speculating either way. I don't tend to really what the S&P does doesn't matter, but the statement was the S&P is due for a correction. The market's green. Now, where it closes, I'm not sure. We shall see. And this comment, third quarter is always a rebalance. The absolute terms I struggle with when people make those comments. September is going to be down month. The third quarter is going to be a balance. Fourth quarter Santa rally. Those are great. Those are helpful to begin your thesis, but that shouldn't be absolute. When we start getting absolute in the market, that's when danger happens. I'm just speaking for myself, Brad.
Oh, I agree. The reason that I even brought this up in the first place and why I put it in the title is because, this isn't just Matt Dix that's saying this. We're seeing it from analysts, from Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, the chief investment officer from Morgan Stanley, Mike Wilson, goes into today's report. He did a bunch of upgrades. Says you should always be expecting a 10% correction if you're investing in equities, which we always say, right? You should always just expect that it's going to happen. But here's the thing that I really strongly disagreed with. He said the bottom line for us is the risk reward is not particularly great at the index level, meaning the S&P and the Dow Jones. And he said that's why we don't have any upside to the S&P for the rest of the year. So Morgan Stanley, chief investment officer Morgan Stanley, says that the S&P isn't going anywhere for the rest of the year. I just don't know if I can get behind that.
Yeah, for sure. But again, it doesn't. Oh man, it just doesn't matter. I think Matt Dix thinks you're on his side, but I don't. Matt Dix, I don't think that's exactly what Brad is saying.
I'm bullish as hell, bro.
Yeah. I think he misinterpreted what he's saying. The point is, you should never just be like, it's always good to have something on the side. Like, corrections happen, or even, I don't even want to say corrections, because yes, a correction can always happen and it will happen.
Yep.
But timing it is
impossible.
It's a futile effort to try to time the 10%. And I wish I had that statistic, which like Bitcoin's an extreme example, crypto's an extreme example, but you had brought up a statistic where like, I don't even know. It was like if you were in like if you were out of the 10 most important days or something, you were down, or I forget how you said it.
Yeah. So we'll just use Bitcoin as a reference. So if you were out of Bitcoin on the 10 biggest days that Bitcoin has had, you'd be red on it.
Got it. There we go. There it is. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But the stocks work the same way. If energy, for example, we've been talking about how energy is just something that you may want to consider being in. We're in energy. But energy's had a huge year. Even last half of last year was big. If you were out of energy, I think it's around the 7 biggest days in the energy sector, no matter what you're in, oil or whatever. You'd also be red on energy. It's been pretty rough over the last couple of months on energy in particular. My OIH position's been all over the place. So, but I'm waiting for those big days where I just don't want to be out of it. I don't want to chase it. So I'm just going to be patient. And that's kind of like the overall market in general to the correction discussion. It's like, yeah, we know it's coming, but you know, having some cash on the side, fine. But like to just be completely out of the market right now, it just makes no sense given the way that the economy is rocking and rolling. I mean, what are you going to do with your money? You're just going to let it sit there while the rest of the market runs without you? It just doesn't make any sense.